Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praises to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray that the Most High blesses this lesson this morning, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand the events that are currently happening on the earth, so we get a much better understanding of things that are soon to come on the earth. Brother, make this quick video, talk about a couple things that are going on, and for our people to not get distracted or sidetracked by the things that the Gentiles are doing. I was checking out a short little interview of this Donald G. McNeil Jr. on MSNBC, and I took these couple of pictures from an article that he wrote. And the main thing that I picked up here is there will be no quick return to our previous lives, but there is hope for managing the scourge now and in the long term. People who are, pretty educated, understand what's going on, do realize there will be no quick return to their previous lives, even though that seems to be what everyone is yearning for. I was looking at a lot of interviews, and a lot of people are like, we can't go another 30 days like this. Our country can't handle another 30 days like this, which is true. And like I said before, the Most High has the United States and the world pretty much, in a catch-22. Either you open up and you start catching this virus, and like this guy said, if you open up things within 3 weeks, you'll start to see a lot of people getting sick and overrunning hospitals. You don't open up, then your economy continues to crash. And that's pretty much what it is. And people are now, fighting to, racing to open up as fast as they can. Open up these states, these governors, and everything else, which is just going against what the Most High has ordained. And that's what's going on right now. See, the people are in denial, and they think that, I just want to work. I just want to get back to how things were before and things like that. And that's because, of course, they know no different. Many people are like, I don't want to stay home. I want to work. Exactly, because staying home, gives them time to reflect. And if they really don't have that option of coming out of Babylon, then they just want to continue on living in Babylon. But something else you have to understand is that even like with the thing with Trump and talking about disinfectants and stuff like that, and UV lights and all this other stuff, this dude is not that dumb. Okay? They're doing a lot of this stuff to sidetrack you on the fact that the Most High is moving on this place. So he said, that dumb comment a couple of days ago, then he tries to clean it up with, I was just joking, I was being sarcastic or whatever else. All of that, and then people kind of just run on that for that day. A couple of days ago, it was, of the second wave, when we haven't even finished with the first wave. All this stuff is just to sidetrack you. That's what it's been like the entire time. Remember, now we come into the truth and we start talking to people, and all they do is ask us, we answer one question and they ask us another question. Remember that we came into the truth and we were talking to a lot of these people, and it was like, well, what about this verse? And what about that verse? And they want you to, they sidetrack you on chasing the Most High. They get you there just answering a bunch of asinine questions all the time. Same thing here. The Most High is executing a lot of his prophecies, like in the Book of Mormon. And see, we got guys who will just come up and say, well, the Book of Mormon we don't agree with. Well, we don't care what you agree with, but these prophecies are being executed right now. They're being fulfilled right now. And the Gentiles don't want you to realize that. So what they're going to do is they're going to put up all these stories just to keep you from looking at how the Most High is already, fulfilling these prophecies. So they're going to come up with, Trump saying something and people running with that for a couple of days. They're going to come up with, well, if we don't take care of this, we're going to have a second wave when the first wave, hasn't even been dealt with. I was watching another little short clip on the news, and they were talking about how really the vast majority of the deaths that have been occurring and the infections have been in the New York metro area, over in some other areas over there on the East Coast, and how now that those are kind of plateauing, they didn't say they're going down; they're just pretty much plateauing the deaths. Um, Now the rural areas, like it's moving across the country from the east to the west. So now a lot of the rural areas are starting to jump up. The places that hadn't been hit, they wanted everything opened up super fast because all that, nothing's going to happen to us because we're out here in the country. Now they're starting to get hit. And that's how the Most High is just going to move this. It said, we're going to get into the prophecies that are being revealed, that are actually being fulfilled right now. We're going to do a couple of those right now. But understand that the enemy it's always been about hiding their judgment. When a judgment happens to them, hide it. The things that was happening in Egypt, there was a lot more going on in Egypt because it took a while for all those curses, all those plagues to hit. It wasn't like it was just hitting super fast and super hard all the time. So even in the Bible, it doesn't go through in depth about the plagues. There's other books you have to get into to get more information about what was going on with the plagues. Same thing now. The Gentiles are being plagued, and they don't like people understand. They don't like people to see that. So they're going to talk about everything else but what's happening to them. And you got to look at what they're opening up on these different places, and realize that they are attacking the 2/3. They want the 2/3 to go down with them. So they're going to open up stuff like the gym, hair salons, barber shops. Now they're talking about some stores. They're talking about next week theaters, some restaurants. Many places that our people are going to try to frequent because that's in our nature, in order for them to get the plague as well. So you got to look at who's the stores that they're opening, or what. I mean, why would you open up those stores? And then you got to understand also they also have a lot of Hebrews, supposed Hebrews that are down with the Babylonian system. And I was listening to one particular person, and they were just talking about how Hebrews are, they're getting their $1,200 check and going and buying big screen TVs. Now, see, that's the kind of stuff that they're going to put up on the news about, they're not good with their money anyways. You try to give them something, and they go and do dumb stuff like go and buy TVs. Now, do you think the vast majority of people who are hungry are going out and buying flat screen TVs? Of course not. But the news is going to concentrate on trying to portray us a certain way, and you're going to find the most ignorant person you can find who's going to go out and spend money on a TV, and then you're going to make it sound like everyone's doing that. Like all of our people are doing that kind of stuff. Those are the kind of things, the kind of tactics that the enemy's always used on us. And then they get there and they try to find someone who looks like us to sit there and run out there with that story and spread it around. And they say, oh, look, it's your people that are talking about how your people are acting ignorant and buying TVs. That's where people, I saw, that I've seen that are struggling. I said they're going to use that money for things, for necessities. But they're not going to talk. They're not going to talk about those Hebrews. They're going to talk about the ones that are going to be the ignorant ones that are going to run out there and do something ignorant with the money and act like it's the vast majority of our people that are doing that kind of stuff. But see, that's what the enemy always does. The enemy comes up with making up some kind of a story, some kind of a narrative about our people, and they'll use our own people to sit there and run out there with it. But understanding right now, see, the vast majority of the Gentiles are going to say, Yeah, we can. It's time. Like, I'm cracking up with people saying it's time to open up America again. It's just that time. We're ready. We need to open up America because it's time. It's like, you guys don't dictate anything anymore. You don't dictate when it's time. You guys are having a very difficult time understanding this, and your churches and your pastors aren't going to tell you. Your blessing, which was this land, was given to you for a time. The Most High is now pulling your card, showing you it's his land, and he dictates when it's time. And he's telling you right now that it's time for you to admit the truth and start to give back the things that you took away from the Most High's chosen people. And as long as you do not do that, things are not going to go well here. Many people are going to be, moved to return back to their original lands because they won't be able to make a living here anymore. They won't be able to exploit the people or the lands anymore. The ones that can stay will be the ones that the Most High chooses to cleave to the truth and cleave to the people. So long as you think that, you have this notion that you're going to be able to return back to life as normal, I said it's not going to go well for you. So let me read real quick a little bit of Jacob 5, because this is what is going on. And this is what mainstream media, as well as the vast majority of the people of the world, are trying to ignore. Okay? Jacob 5:64. Wherefore dig about them, and prune them, and dung them once more, for the last time. For the end draweth nigh. And if it be so that these last grafts shall grow, and bring forth the natural fruit, then shall ye prepare the way for them as that they may grow. So the Most High is, you know, awakening his people, giving them knowledge and understanding again, raising them back up. Just like we're like the trees of the vineyard that have been, forsaken, neglected, and the Most High is bringing us back to life. And now he's preparing the way so that we can grow. And that's what he was doing for the last year with the first and second stick, preparing us so that we may grow, so that we're in a position to now be the light of the world, so that we can grow and people will be attracted to the truth, and they will have an option for the truth. Now, this is Jacob 5, now 65. And as they begin to grow, ye shall clear away the branches which bring forth bitter fruit. So that's what he's doing right now. He's clearing away the branches that have brought forth bitter fruit, according to the strength of the good and the size thereof. So as the good fruit grow, he's removing the bad fruit, the ones that produce bitter fruit, the bad branches, the branches of the wicked. And it's funny because you'll sit there and now just listen to their words. They're like, well, we, as the death toll inches up. What do you mean inches up? It goes up. It's been going up over 2,000 plus people per day for a while now. And they're saying, oh, it's just inching up. It's over 50 plus thousand people right now. They said it was going to be 60,000 by August. It's going to be probably 60,000 in the next few days. And see, that was the whole thing. At first, they made it sound like it was going to be 80,000 by August, and everyone was just, losing their minds. Then they revised that down. Oh, no, it's going to be 60,000. Then all of a sudden, stock markets start shooting up because, oh, we're only going to lose 60,000? Oh, no big deal. Well, now, those numbers are going up consistently, and they're going to go up even more now that they're opening up stuff. They're going to go up even more. So you talk about thousands of people in certain areas. I mean, you talk about little itty bitty areas. I think they said they've only tested maybe less than 2% of the population, and they realize all these people have it. And what do they do? What do they do? They started just switching the narrative. Instead of talking about how bad things were day by day, they switched to, well, in the fall when it comes back, it's going to be worse. Like we've already, bit the bullet and we're already good now, which we're not. Then the next time it was like, Trump talking about, Lysol and cleaners and whatever else, and people are now running with that for the next couple of days. And they'll come up with something else in the next couple of days. They'll come up with some other story because they don't want to talk about how this is prophecy. You don't hear about anything about the Bible, about scriptures. You don't hear anything about pastors trying to prophesy about what's going on in the future. None of that stuff. Because, that says their judgment is here. So they're trying to deflect. Most High said, this is what was going to happen. And as they begin to grow, ye shall clear away the branches which bring forth bitter fruit, according to the size, according to the strength of the good and the size thereof. And ye shall not clear away the bad thereof all at once, lest the roots thereof should be too strong for the graft, and the graft thereof shall perish, and I lose the trees of my vineyard. So, hold on. The removal of the wicked is not going to be all at once. So see, that even goes with prophecy, which they're talking about right now. Oh, we bit the bullet. We're doing well. We're, everything's good. And it might come back worse in the fall. So that means, but they're losing people every day, which means the Most High is removing people daily. And if people want to act like, all of a sudden now that no one's dying from cancer, no one's dying um, what is it, anything else. No one's dying of accidents. No one's dying of this because they're making everything coronavirus. Who says no one's dying of anything else? We don't. Are we looking at the numbers of every single thing of how many people are dying? The Most High dictates how He takes people out. It won't necessarily always be off of coronavirus. Of course, He's used other sicknesses and things like that to take people out as well. But we know that this CV right here has been used to shut down the entire system, has been used to shut down their churches, and it's been used to destroy their economy, among other things. So the Most High is executing His judgment how He wants to execute it. He didn't say He has to do it all one way. He was releasing multiple plagues during the time of Egypt. There was multiple ways that the Most High executes His plans. So He's not limited to just doing it with CV or whatever else. And I really doubt that we're getting all the deaths, like all the deaths from every single, are now just being lumped into CV. I'm sure we're having more than 2,400 people dying every single day. But the main thing is that they're trying to hide the fact that this is the Most High's judgment against them for what they've done to the Most High's chosen seed. They are pretty much trying to, get people to look at other things, be distracted, because the Most High is getting ready, or He's already executing His prophecies the way He wants to do it for His people on their land. And people who know will put things out like this: there will be no quick return to our previous lives. That's letting you know that Babylon is done. The Babylonian system over here is done. And that, if for them to stay here, it's going to be a totally different look than how it's been. They're not going to be able to just enjoy everything like it was before. It's because everything before was their blessing. So it's got right here in this statement alone, let you know that their blessing on our land is a wrap. There will be no quick return to our previous lives, meaning that cup has been taken from the Most High's chosen people and given to the Gentiles. Because this whole, all of our lands was like a Disneyland to them. They were able to go rape, rob, murder, steal, get everything they wanted, all of the all of our resources, our labor, use it for themselves. That was their previous life. Those were their previous lives before. You got to look at things more spiritual, a little deeper. When they say something like this, these guys admitting we're not going back to those lives anymore. We're not going to be able to keep giving the cup to the Israelites and live deliciously off of them. That's what they're saying right here. That's what this guy is admitting to right now, and people won't be able to be able to handle that. So now they're not telling people how bad things are. They're not talking about the thousands of deaths every single day and growing, and how the CV is spreading all over the place. They're going to say things like, okay, well, we're going to go back to opening up everything. We're all going to pray together and be in this together. No, no, we're not. So this is prophecy. This is the prophecy that the Most High said was going to happen, and this is exactly what is happening. So when people try to sit there and act like the Book of Mormon has nothing in it, and, that's how we tell that the books are correct, through prophecy. The Bible we use, that's what showed that it was of the Most High, because of the prophecies that were in it. This is how we're showing that the Book of Mormon is our book as well, because it is revealing, it is showing prophecy that is now being fulfilled today. Again, I'm going to read Jacob 5 and 65. And as they begin to grow, ye shall clear away the branches which bring forth bitter fruit, according to the strength of the good and the size thereof. And ye shall not clear away the bad thereof all at once, lest the roots thereof should be too strong for the graft, and the graft thereof shall perish, and I lose the trees of my vineyard. Okay? Let me see here. Let's go a little bit more. Remember now I talked about the sweeping off of our lands. Eventually everything goes to the sweeping off of the wicked off of our lands. And I talked about even here in Jacob 5. Let's go to 66. For it grieveth me that I should lose the trees of my vineyard. Wherefore ye shall clear away the bad according as the good shall grow, that the root and the top may be equal in strength, until the good shall overcome the bad. Okay? And the bad be hewn down and cast into the fire, that they cumber not the ground of my vineyard. And thus will I sweep away the bad out of my vineyard. So he's talking about getting rid of the bad trees out of the vineyard. The vineyard here is his promised land, and eventually he's getting rid of them right now, slowly, but eventually, as we continue to grow and grow more and more, he's going to get rid of the bad, the bad branches, faster and faster, and get rid of them altogether. All right, now this goes back to that Joel 2. So this is just the beginning, and they're talking about how it's going to be even worse in the fall. Well, that just means, because if it's getting worse in the fall, that means that we're growing even more by that time. You just got to listen to what they say. They're expecting a huge spike later on in the year. And why would that be? Because we're growing. Because we're going to be growing even more as time progresses. Because that's all part of prophecy. So there's a whole lot of prophecies that are being fulfilled right now. And they know it. And that's why they're trying to turn attention away from what's really going on. So they're going to try to open up things and do certain things, so people will be talking about that and not talk about the prophecies that are being fulfilled. They'll try to open up certain things that our people will frequent. Many of the 2/3 will frequent. And then when they start to get sick and die, they'll sit there and say, well, see, it is, a lot of so-called African-American and brown people and Latinos that are getting it and everything else. Well, yeah, you opened up everything for them to go ahead and get that. And it's in their nature to do those kinds of things, and that's what's going to happen. But that's all part of prophecy. So they have something else to talk about other people. So they're always trying to talk about somebody else. So they don't think about what's happening to them. But that's all part of this, all part of the game. So don't look at the first thing that they show you. Look at it through spiritual eyes. Look at it through prophecy. Look at it through the fact that the Most High said he was going to get rid of the unnatural branches that are here on our lands as we grow. So when they say things about, it increasing later, well, we know that means that our numbers will be increasing later. And that's all part of prophecy. So I just want to bring you this quick video, and there'll be more coming shortly. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahushai. Shalom.